this is my first week here. Probably my last, but I'm just sort of getting used to it. I'm actually just going to the station. Are you fairly good at getting up in the morning early?
I am, yeah. Because I've got 2 children.
Yeah.
So, you know, they wake up quite early, so I'm fairly good.
I bet you're waking up with a smile on your face at the moment, of course, with your news about your musical, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I mean, it was a great day yesterday, you know, to finally announce the show and the fact that it was going to open at the Piccadilly Theatre.
Just explain it to us again, would you? The basis of it, the musical.
The musical? Well, it's a musical based upon the mutiny that happened on the Bounty, 1789. We started about 2 years ago. I wrote it with a man called Richard Crane, who used to be the resident dramatist at the National Theatre. And it's taken about 2 years to get on. In show terms, that's not very long. I mean, it felt very long to me. I thought I was going to finish up playing Bligh.
You have been talking about it for such a long time, it appears that way, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Really why it didn't... pictures of me.
In all the papers,
yeah.
The Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. Says you're looking for a young lady to play a sort of nubile...
Nubile.
A nubile islander.
Yeah, that's not quite right. I'm not looking. Obviously, the director's looking, Michael Bogdanov. But we would like, if you're out there, we would like a Tahitian lady that can sing and dance. It can be any age, really, up to about 30.
So what will her role be in it?
She'd be my girlfriend. She'd be, or Fletcher.
Don't write to us, please.
Writing and saying offering for the part.
Got to be a member of Equity. To play Maimiti. Maimiti actually in Tahitian means mainmast. So I don't know.
Mainmast?
Yeah, it's because she was tall and thin. So if she'd been short and fat, probably been called Cuddles.
You must know everything about that story now, mustn't you?
I do, yeah, I do know a lot. I've read lots of books. Richard actually went back to all the historical facts of the trial and so on, so he's well genned up. But it's a very interesting subject. I mean, when we first thought of the subject matter, it just seemed right, you know, in its size and the fact that it's an expensive subject to hold music and so on.
It's a story that's always fascinated everybody, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even worldwide, because we just toured, the band and I just toured Denmark, places like that. And Bounty good, yeah. Fletcher, Christian. I can't do Danish accents.
Oh, I thought it was very good.
It's close.
So, no, but it is a fascinating and a very interesting subject, and there's a great team working on the show now. I mean, there's John Cameron, who works with me on the music side, and Michael Bogdanov, terrific choreographer Christopher Bruce, and I'm very happy that it's opening in London, because there was a lot of pressure for it to open in New York, so I'm pleased about that.
You'll need a lot of tuition, and there's nobody better to show you how to do it properly than Popeye, because he's a very famous sailor
Well,
man.
Bluto is the man.
Or even Pluto as well.
Not
it is
Pluto.
time. Bluto? Oh, is it Bluto?
Yeah, not Pluto.
Is a big guy.
Well, you learn something every day, don't you? Well, it is time, as you may have gathered, for Popeye. And somebody who's always switched on in time for Popeye is Paul William Marks from Ilford in Essex, and he's 8 years old today. And here he is wearing his Good Morning Britain costume, which won him a prize in a fancy dress competition. And another...
And good morning, if you just joined us, this is Good Morning Britain, welcome back. And our special guests this morning are David Essex and actress Diana Quick. Now, in fact, both of you got something in common, as we're about to find out now, because Diana, you're perhaps best known for one of your roles in Brideshead Revisited as Julia Flight. And during the course of filming there, you actually had to film some scenes on board ship, didn't you?
Yes, we had a whole episode on board ship, and we did, eventually, after a lot of problems, we got to shoot it on the QE2, crossing from New York to Southampton. And there were force 10 gales all the way. And even on a big boat like the QE2, the stabilizers didn't really help, so we were like this. But we only used the boat for the exteriors, because it was a long period ship. You know, it was supposed to be the 20s or 30s. So we did all the interiors on dry land, and we had to match these shots of a storm. So days and weeks went by with us trying to figure out how the hell you walk.
Compensating for it, going backwards and forwards.
And the trickiest part was, there was a huge scene in the dining hall with lots of people there. And we'd finally got it all figured out, with the producer standing on top of the table waving a broom to get everybody to go this way.
So everybody was in time.
And then Jeremy suddenly realised that, in fact, if you're sitting down, you sway the opposite way. You know, if you're on, instead of staggering with the boat as the deck goes that way, you in fact move the opposite way. So then another couple of days went past while we tried to figure all that out. And get it right.
Well, Mutiny is very much obviously on dry land on the stage, but I mean, will you be paying that sort of attention to detail?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, it's really the choreographer's job. I don't think any stage is big enough really to hold all the storm sequences and the sea, but hopefully the music will help with that, to give it that size, you know.
Are you going to have a ship on stage?
I think what we'll probably do is have an abstract form of a boat, because if you've got a great big boat stuck there, I mean, it's kind of one-dimensional in a way. So I think we'll probably hint at it being a boat, and then that will clear when we get to Tahiti.
Right, but you won't be seasick anyway, that's for sure, at the end of it.
But I'm not a very good sailor.
Really?
No, I'm all right in the air, but not so good on sea.
You're a helicopter pilot, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Your own helicopter.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Actually, you can't say affirmative now because there was a big crash. Because I think it was in Spain. One of the pilots said affirmative, and the control thought it was negative, so you have to say affirm.
Oh, I see.
So get that right. Affirm.
It's very high-powered, isn't it?
Affirm.
Affirm. Affirm. It's 7:49. This is Good Morning Britain. Now for a little piece of Australia. And when I say little, I do mean it, because with us in the studio we've got a baby dingo who was orphaned at birth and now has no name to call his own. In fact, he and his brother, another dingo that's going to come in later, have been cared for by the zoo owner, Mr. Raymond Jones, who's brought them along to us at TVM to see if we can find names for them and hopefully a new home. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne.
What on earth are you doing with a dingo in the first place?
Well, as you know, we have a lot of exotic animals, and we thought the dingo would be a good thing, because a lot of people don't see these Australian...
They're wild Australian dogs,
well,
aren't
not
they?
really. They have originally they were wild Australian dogs, but they've been in captivity for so long that they're quite domesticated. But of course, to own one, people would have to have a license to own one of these.
Because they are under the Wild Animals Act.
That's right, yes.
So they're deemed wild.
Yes.
Are they a bit nasty-tempered? Are they a bit wild?
But I mean, any animal in a pack, you know, one dog is one dog, two dogs is a pack. And any in a pack, if they're let loose, it doesn't matter if it's Alsatian or a mongrel, they would worry and torment sheep and things like chickens.
So they've got that wildness streak in their nature.
All dogs have.
Yeah.
But when dogs are on their own, you know, as a pet, well, that's quite different. These, of course, well, they're quite docile, as you see.
Yeah. No, we've got him and another one, yes?
Yes.
Who need names and
That's right.
homes.
No, names.
Names, not
Yeah.
homes.
These are actually going abroad.
So we've got to, please, if you've got an idea for a name for two little baby dingoes, are they both male?
2 females. Altogether we have 8, 6 females and 2 males.
Right.
It's a big family.
Okay. I know you've just got a dog, haven't you, David?
Yeah, I just got a pup.
Do you want to... Is
Yeah.
friendly enough for David to hold?
there you are.
My one's called George.
He's a biggie, this one.
Hello, mate.
How old is he now?
11 weeks.
Will he get very much bigger?
A little bit, not much. Somebody say they do look a little bit like a fox, but I can't
Yeah, it's
see
got
it.
a certain wild look to it,
It's
hasn't
a
it?
bit like a desert fox. Isn't it?
Yes,
Colouring,
that's right.
really.
Yeah.
I'm just going, I have to tread very carefully when I come out the bedroom now. I mean, this morning the first feeling I had as I came out the bedroom was this poop. Squelching through my toes.
Thank you very much, David.
Well, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Well, why not? It's only early in the morning and people eating their breakfast. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
what's he
it.
doing? What's he doing
I
here?
don't know, we don't want to know. You carry on holding it. Put you in your place. Right, anyway, thank you very much. And remember to
Thank
let
you.
us know if you've got a good idea for a name for a baby dingo. Now, all through this morning's programme, the beautician Barbara Daly and hairdresser Michael Rasser have been transforming our bride of the week, Tony Cochrane, because we're looking particularly...
And welcome back to Good Morning Britain. Our special guests this morning are David Essex and the dingo.
And the dingo.
And also actress Diana Quick. Right, well, it's birthday time now. You're going to choose a few birthdays.
Do a
Just
quick
before you
birthday.
do, though, let me tell you that Lord Snowdon is 55 today and Viv Richards, the cricketer, is 33.
I forgot to send him a birthday card.
You did.
This says, Dear TVM, would you please wish Emma Jane Lucas of Flat 2 Bush House, Oakmead Road, Point Clear, Essex, a happy 6th birthday, with love from Mummy and Daddy Michael, Nanny and Grandad Lucas, Fanny the dog, Nanny and Grandad Busby, and aunties and uncles. That's not to give you any hints on what to call our baby dingo here. And you're not to call it Sheila either,
No,
just because
definitely
it's an
not.
Australian and it's female, as David Essex suggested a minute ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
happy birthday, Emma Jane.
Now, David and the dingo actually have a new single out, and it's called Falling Angels Riding, and I think it's just charted about 38, hasn't it? So,
Yes.
well, it just so happens we have the video, and David is singing Falling Angels Riding. Here it is.
In Sunderland. I love
At the
Sunderland.
Empire
Great-
on
great
Sunday the
place.
21st of April. And then you're going to Manchester, Nottingham, Lincoln, London, Southampton and Croydon.
Good, now I know, thank you.
And I've also got my application form here to the David Essex Fans Club, so I'll fill it in a bit later on.
Diana, you're today going to Mutiny.
Yes.
You actually wrote it.
I wrote the music. The book was by Richard Crane.
Yeah.
It seemed a sensible thing to do, having worked in theatre, and you know, I write probably about 95% of my own songs, to try and marry the two together. Writing for Mutiny was quite interesting. I did a film score before, but writing for Frank Finlay in particular, who's playing Bligh,
Playing alongside you.
who is a good, powerful singer, but not a powerful singer in range terms. So I was conscious of trying to write songs that had theatre in them, but were actually contained in their range.
Now that you've got this one off the ground, no doubt you've got a few other things up your sleeve as well that you're going to try and get off the ground, are you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of film ideas. I'm working with a writer called Bernard Copps on a film idea, and I've got like the embryo of a stage musical idea. But let's see how this one goes first, I think.
Yeah, since you've got the backing for this, it's going to probably a lot easier to get the backing for the others, isn't it?
It depends. If Mutiny comes off in 3 days, I don't think there'll be too many people interested in finance. We've always been very lucky with the finance on Mutiny. We actually had the money 2 times over.
Yeah.
So that was not a problem. But it's a nice thing to be involved in as a writer because it's very substantial. It's a big kind of project as opposed to
Looking at the actual storyline, there's some controversy over Fletcher Christian, whether in fact he was the villain or whether he was the hero. How do you actually portray him in the musical?
Well, I think he was probably a more modern man than Bligh, a man that believed, very influenced by Thomas Paine, believed in equality.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, in practice, does that work in confined quarters on a boat where conditions are very difficult? And it seemed that after it didn't work. So there's a nice kind of irony about the character, a romantic idealist in many ways, and to see the dream turn into a nightmare, I think, was one of the things that interested me.
Indeed. Well, we've got another romantic now with the weather forecaster as Wincy.
Up there, and we'll miss out on the
You've got
coffee.
2, and another one.
Oh, I've got to get 2, sorry. Right, well, the lucky runners-up are Mrs. Christine Goff, who lives in Kings Norton, that's near Birmingham, and S. Goldsmith from Frodsham.
Yes.
Those very lucky people will be winning the books that I showed you last week, all the film books and a few TV books as well. If we can see it over there, or maybe there we go. The Shooting Party, Amadeus, Passage to India, all the rest of it. But as a special prize, I just pulled this one out, which actually it's got a nice one on it, and this lady. Oh, this man, I should say, Alex Davidson from Shepherd's Bush, London, W12. He gets a very special prize because when I went to see the film, I bumped into, by complete chance, Arthur C. Clarke, and he told me that this wonderful 2010 clock, that doesn't seem to be working at the moment, we need Yuri Geller here, there we are, it's a lovely clock, and it's the only one in the country at the moment, so we'll be sending that one to the lucky winner as well.
Oh, that's nice. Smashing.
Thank you, and that's
Okay.
it for this week.
Thank you, Charles. We'll take a break.
Was one of them.
Mutiny tour, it's going to take in places like Southampton, as was mentioned there, Nottingham, Manchester. What would you nominate as the sort of place that you wouldn't particularly like to go and live in?
America.
Oh,
Attacked himself.
No, I really enjoy travelling Britain, and I mean, the concerts are lovely to do because it's a nice way of saying thank you. But I love going to all the different towns. The last tour was lovely for me because I flew it by helicopter. So that was a great experience to land in, you know, various hotels, little airfields, and great fun. But I think one of the great things about touring for me has always been just going to the different cities. I love it.
you don't think you'll ever get tired of it?
Don't think so.
Do you ever get to see any of them, though? I mean, a lot of people go touring, they just see the inside of a hotel room and the inside of a concert hall, and that's it.
Well, the band and I have done it's hard, but the band and I think we've done about 12 British tours, nearly every place from Scunthorpe to everywhere. So I know them quite well now. I can even find my way into Birmingham.
Now, that is remarkable. You have to take a degree course to be able to do that.
You do it by air now.
No, I can't get out, but I can find my way in.
That really is remarkable. We were talking earlier about Sunderland, and you were saying that, I mean, you and Wincy come from
we
up
used
there.
to work up there, didn't we, Wincy?
Yes, we...
For Tyne's Television.
Yeah,
And
for a couple of years.
we were remarking that they probably wouldn't understand what Lloyd was saying, because they have their own unique way of speaking up there, don't they?
Yeah, it's great. we
Actually, the
understand it
Sunderland
perfectly.
accent is not a Geordie accent either.
Can you do it?
Well, not really. I mean, it's a difficult
between
one.
Geordie and Hartlepool, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, every time I try to
Stop
do it.
beating about the bush. You were doing it great during the break.
No, we weren't. It was a
who were you, Mum?
semi-Geordie we were doing. That YI man and all that's Geordie, and Hartlepool is you go to work when your pet will share, you know. So it's a cross
That's
between
right.
that.
You've got that one, Wincy. That's a good one.
And you're an East Ender, London East Ender. I mean, you talk a bit Cockney, don't you?
Bit Cockney, yes. It's rubbed. I mean, it's kind of the edges have rubbed a bit smooth. I think that's simply working in theatre and trying to get people to understand, you know, what you're saying. But no, I come from West Ham. They won last night. Well done, boys. 5-1.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm a London boy. I love
Well, I'll
it.
give you a hint where I come from. We'll take a break.
It's time for our last look at the news today with Gordon Honey.
Yeah, I mean, a funny story from 10cc that they told me they were playing working men's clubs up north before they became famous. And the Master of Ceremony said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a very fine group of lads. Ladies and gentlemen, IOC."
Very good. It's like Nick and I once introduced ZZ Top, didn't we?
Yeah, and the special ACCA.
Yes, a special ACCA.
That's AKA.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
AKA.
Also known
I'm a
as.
bit confused. Anyway, it's time, I'm afraid, to say goodbye and thank you very much to David Essex. We ought to just quickly say that Mutiny, we've been talking about all morning, starts at Piccadilly Theatre
11th of July.
in London, but there is a pre-Mutiny
Mutiny
tour.
tour.
Which is covering Sunderland, Manchester, Nottingham, Lincoln, London, Southampton and Croydon. So watch out for that. Tour starts on the 21st of April and goes through the week. So if you want to see David live, there's your chance. Thanks very much.
got
My
him
pleasure.
And
Thank
join
you.
us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.